Uh-oh. Ah, ah, ah. Uh-oh.
Does everybody know what time it is?
Home and podcast time.
That's right. Binford Tools is proud to present a home improvement podcast. My name is Adam. You all know my co-host, Jordan. Hi, Jordan.
Hi, Adam. How are you?
Yes, shilly-shally to you as well.
Shilly-shally. Uh-oh. I didn't know what part of the episode would make it into the opening banter, but I didn't expect shilly-shally.
Shilly-shally, yeah. That's the big takeaway from this one. No.
Are we going to make a shilly-shally shirt?
Yeah, I think we should make a shilly-shally shirt. Put on Redbubble, $32, $34. I don't know. However much
Remember
we can
when
get out
someone
of it.
bought a sweatshirt of ours?
Yeah.
I wonder who that was. We never got pictures.
It wasn't like anybody, usually when stuff like that happens, we've sold a couple of stickers, I think, to people that were random.
Sure.
But random in so much as we don't know them, like via friends and family. But yeah, usually when something like that happens, it is someone you know. But yeah, somebody's walking around somewhere with a home and podcast sweatshirt.
And I really wanted to see what it turned out as, because, something on a website versus what it prints out as. Who knows?
Right.
Maybe that's why they never sent a picture to us, because it's kind of horrible.
It could be, yeah. But it's actually probably like Drake bought it. He's going to wear it to the Raptors home opener next year. That'd be cool. That'd be great for our brand.
It sure would be. That'd be a really obscure podcast on Drake's attire. That'd be great. Well, I don't know if that's going to happen. But
you don't think it will?
Seems unlikely.
Okay. Well,
If I had to peg chances on it, I don't know.
Well,
Can we get like
odds.
9 million to 1 odds, maybe?
Speaking of Vegas odds, Jordan, I thought we'd talk a little bit about something that has already happened by the time this episode comes out, and that is the Detroit Lions season. It will have started.
We're always on time.
Yeah, well, that's on brand for us. But no, Jordan, the NFL season is, well, like I said, will have already come. But
it's been
for us,
kicked off, if you might say.
Yeah, Jordan, I would say that. Glad you got that in there. It is on our radar right now, and I thought we could just take a couple minutes and talk about what we're expecting, what we're hoping for, and what will be of this Detroit Lions season. Because right now, Jordan, expectations are pretty low.
I would say so. I have very low expectations. The thing about not having an NFL Sunday ticket and not living anywhere near NFC North teams is you get to watch the Lions maybe twice a year.
Yeah, Thanksgiving and whatever.
Yeah,
if they get a Monday night game.
Random Sunday or Monday night or something.
Yeah.
So I feel very disconnected to them right now,
Okay.
which is pretty sad, because
Yeah.
every Sunday I remember watching them, and my friend Sam would come over, or we would hang out, or whatever, and we'd watch the Lions and maybe enjoy some KFC or something like that.
Oh yeah, now you're talking, Big Daddy.
Yeah, I get the game on. So now it's like half the Sundays I don't even really watch football until maybe the Sunday night game, because I have to watch like the Jags or the Dolphins or the Bucks. Yeah. So not as exciting for me, which I guess frees up a little bit of time, which is a good thing. But
what else are you going to do on a Sunday during the fall, though?
I guess so. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, so I guess the reason I say all this is I'm not staying abreast of all of the Lions news as I used to.
Before we get into the Lions, what's the Orlando team? Like, who do they root for? Or is
you'll see a
mishmash?
you'll see a lot of Tampa stuff.
Okay. Yeah.
But there's a good mix. I would say more Tampa and Jacksonville than Miami, but there's a good mix. And then since it's a place with a lot of transplants, you'll see a lot of everything else. So that's good. It's mostly just Orlando City soccer shirts. So
Really? Okay.
So there's that. But yeah, I mean, I don't really have a good handle. I just think they're gonna be not that great. Especially I pulled up briefly the schedule.
Yeah, it's brutal.
It's a really tough start with the Chargers, the Eagles, the Chiefs, the Packers, the Vikings, all in the first 5 weeks. Eventually you get the Raiders and the Giants, which will be a little bit better. So I think in a group chat that we have for our fantasy football league, we were kind of throwing out numbers and stuff. And if you're asking me what I think the record's going to be, which I think you are.
Yeah.
I'm thinking like 6-10.
It's hard, yeah. I think like the odds are at like 6.5 right now is the over/under, and I've heard people say a couple different people say that they think the Lions will be the worst team in the NFL. That would really surprise me if they were the worst team. It's hard because they have improved at almost every position from last year. They got a lot of free agents. I think they drafted pretty well. They have a new offensive coordinator, running back in his second year, Kerryon Johnson.
Second year coach, maybe they got a little bit more of the system.
I think the coach is trash, and everybody that
Bring
knows
back
me,
Caldwell.
well, sure, but I'm just not a Patricia fan. But I don't know. Probably isn't going to go worse in his second year than his first year. I guess anything's possible. So it's hard for me to imagine them being worse than they were last year. But at the same time, every team in the division besides the Lions is supposed to win or is slated to win between 9 and 10 games. So those wins have to come from somewhere. And if you kind of couple that with the Lions' tough schedule outside of the division, yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm going to say 7 and 9, and they just kind of eke out the over. But I also, at the same time, I could see them going 9 and 7 because, I don't know, they're better than they were last year. Last year they were really bad. And they still won. What was their official record last year?
No, jeez.
Was it 6 and 10?
I
kind of stopped.
I did too. I just stopped paying attention because I
suspect it was 6 and 10.
I'll let you know.
Okay.
They were 6 and 10, correct?
Yeah. So I guess the answer to how they would be that bad again or worse would be their schedule. But they're a better team in a lot of different ways. And yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's every year I say 7 and 9, 8 and 8, 9 and 7. Every year. We've done this probably 3 years in a row, and I bet every year I've said that exact same thing.
Right.
And more or less, it's kind of right around the correct number. So yeah, I'll say 7 and 9.
Stuck right where you don't want to be.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, exactly right. Maybe they'd be better if they bottomed out. I am excited by the time this comes out. They will have played Arizona. If they lose to Arizona, it's going to be a long season because Arizona, new coach, young quarterback, not a lot of talent, a team that's supposed to be worse than the Lions. So if they lose that game, then we are in
harbinger of things to come.
For sure. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good thing we have this podcast to hold us through because it might be a rough season. So it
could be a rough season, yeah. But Jordan, I'm hopeful, man. What other choice have I got?
I don't know. Who else? You can't root for. Well, now you're in Wisconsin.
Yeah, so. I just jump around the Midwest, but I refuse to go to the state.
You're really there trying to start a rebellion.
Yeah, it's interesting up here because the Packers fans they're more proud than the Bears fans were. A little bit more snobbish. People will take shots at the Lions. When I was in Illinois, that really never happened. I don't know. I guess people in Illinois just have more going on. Chicago. I think it's true. I think people in Illinois just don't live and die by the Bears as much as the people in Wisconsin do. There's just so much Packer pride up here. But yeah, I don't know. I don't think the Packers are going to be as good as. I listen to the sports talk radio up here, and they're very bullish on the Packers. They have Super Bowl aspirations, which is funny because they're pretty lousy last year, and they have a coach that has not proven a whole lot. So Jordan, we'll just see. I don't know if you want to take a couple minutes to riff on the Buccaneers, your new team, or Bruce Arians, Kangol Kid.
Well, I've heard a lot of buzz about Chris Godwin. We've talked about that a little bit off air, and he had an interesting year last year, but he's getting a lot of buzz this year. So they have good receivers, I guess, between him, Evans, O.J. Howard, some good receiving core, but I don't even know who their quarterback is, which is not usually a good sign. So
it's Jameis Winston, Jordan.
Oh, well, that's also not a good sign. I thought for some reason he was gone.
No, man, he's still there. You are, yeah. You call yourself a fan?
Not of the Buccaneers. No, I don't.
Tim Allen is a Lions fan, so that's why we talk about it on this podcast.
That's right.
Because we're from there. How many games do you think Tim Allen goes to a year? Over, under, 1?
I was gonna say
push.
I don't know. That's only if they have a big thing going on and they're begging him to come. Maybe
I always Google Tim Allen Lions to get photos for social media or whatever, and there's always just the same photo of him dressing up as a Detroit Lion for Halloween one year. You ever seen that?
I have not.
He's got the shoulder pads.
Have you posted that one yet?
Yeah, probably 6 times.
Wow. Well,
yeah. I'll post it again this year. It's pretty good.
All right, yeah, it's worth it for sure. I don't remember that. Maybe I will when it comes back up.
Well, you don't follow us on Twitter, so it's
only when somebody tweets at me. So
yeah, that's right.
You banished me from voting in the polls because you didn't want to skew results. So why do I even come to the page?
I don't remember that being true, but yeah, sure, we'll go with that. Jordan, what are we covering this week?
This week we're going to be covering episode 146, which
wow,
never gets old. My Son, the Driver.
Great title. I guess they're referencing My Mom, the Car.
What is that?
I think it's an old TV show where mom is a car. You don't know about this? I'm looking up. Yeah, I think it has Jerry Van Dyke. Let me find out.
Unbelievable.
Yes. A man finds his mother reincarnated as a car. It got 2 seasons, so that's television in the 60s.
Wow.
It's loading. Updated my computer. Yeah. So we got Jerry Van Dyke. You ever watch Coach? You know Craig T. Nelson? You made that big discovery a month or so ago.
Yeah, no,
yeah, well,
I know of the show, but I don't know if I've ever seen it besides just like.
Jerry Van Dyke is Craig T. Nelson's like assistant coach in that show. Yeah, My Mother, the Car. People will sometimes look back with rose-colored glasses in the '60s, all the good times. There was a show called My Mom, the Car that got 2 seasons, so things couldn't have been that good if based on what I'm seeing here.
Yeah, does it get better than that? I don't know.
Oh, but hey, here's a bunch of other shows that are like it. The show's incredible premise was similar to other popular comedies of the 60s that features a fantastic gimmick. I would say fantastic is relative. Like a talking horse, Mr. Ed, a suburbanite witch, Bewitched, an obedient genie, Dream of Genie, or a flying nun in The Flying Nun. I gotta say, mom reincarnated as a car is the worst idea of all this.
I would say so, but that's why it's this episode title. It's so bad it's good, maybe.
Well, I didn't like it in this episode when Brad did die and did come back as a car. I thought that seemed like a little out of what we usually see on Home Improvement.
Yeah, the realism was suspended, I would say.
Yeah, which is weird because I don't know. We've seen the claymation stuff, but when Brad died, it was like, okay, how are they gonna come back from this? Is it a dream or something?
Boy, the claymation stuff; those were the days.
Oh, that was like literally a month ago.
I know. It's one of my favorite pictures that we ever use for our podcast.
Yeah, it looks cool, but man, just
don't watch the episode.
That was such trash watching it.
Just get hyped by the picture, but don't watch the episode. All right, let's get hyped about this episode. We've talked too much about the title.
Okay.
Or maybe not enough. I'm not sure. All right. Written by Laurie Gelman, lasted The Flirting Game.
Gelman!
I knew you were going to do that.
Gelman, you crazy.
Which is the one where Jill seduces a police officer, if you recall.
Yeah, I liked it, I think.
This one aired April 1st, 1997. And no, that is not an April Fool's joke.
Oh, dang it. You took the words out of my mouth.
I knew you were going with that. How many alternative titles do you have this week?
4.
I have 4 as well.
Okay, go ahead.
My first one, I'm certain you have one of these. Going Al Out.
Pretty good. I'll do mine. Al in the Family.
Great.
Thank you.
Fender Fibber.
All right, I guess something similar. The Deceitful Driver.
Uh-oh.
That is a soundboard, not me.
Well, I was going to say, that's too good to be just an audible noise that you make. All right. Next one is Basic Instinct. Different from the movie.
A little bit. Can you explain that one to me just a little bit?
Jill talks a lot about her intuition and instincts in this episode.
I forgot about that. Yeah. Well, you know what? You know what I say to Jill? Even a broken clock's right twice a day.
Ding.
All right. This one sucks. Driving Mr. Randy.
What do you mean it's bad? That was great.
Oh, thanks, man.
All right. My last one is, I don't even remember what this is necessarily in reference to, but oh no, I kind of get it now. It's bad. It's bad if I forget one day later after writing it, but the new driver's test. You're going to have to ask me, aren't you?
I mean, he's a new driver and he's taking a driving test. Is that what we're doing?
No, it's kind of the test of is he going to tell the truth or not? Can they trust him?
I don't know about that.
He's being tested.
You can explain it as confidently as you want, but I'm not sure it does much.
Well,
for
what
me.
if I explain it Unconfidently.
Well, that might be better. All right, last one for me. This is a song. It drives Mom crazy.
Oh, oh. I love that song, by the way.
Hey, good to know. That's it.
It's on my Spotify playlist of the Wayback Machine, where I listen to 70s, 80s, and 90s classics.
You have a Spotify playlist. That's interesting.
I've got like 3 of them, man.
What do you use them for?
Different moods.
Because you don't work out, so you listen to music.
Listen to music in the car, maybe, or around the house, or when I'm cooking. We've already talked about Frank Sinatra while I'm cooking, so.
Yeah, well, you're a crooner.
Yeah, always have been, always will be. So that's what I use it for.
Is that also, like one of your 5 favorite songs?
Well, I like it a lot. Can we talk about songs that I like a lot that I probably shouldn't?
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, that one, Return of the Mac, I love.
Yeah, sure, yeah.
Stacy's Mom is a great one that gets
stuck
in my head.
Stacy's Mom. Yeah, I like that song. Sure.
Those are 3 off the top of my head that I really like.
Okay.
Jesse's Girl is another one that I like.
Everybody likes Jesse's Girl.
My wife hates it.
Hey,
but she's grown to like it because I like it so much.
Hey, Jordan, I don't want to tell you your business, but there are other women out there, so if she can't get on board with that, I don't know.
I've already made a commitment, so...
Okay, hey, I respect it. Sure, yeah.
Sure, but you just want to remind me of the possibilities.
But also, like, hey, man, a lot of girls like Jesse's Girls, so a lot of Rick Springfield fans out there.
Are you saying that I should break out the old bowling routine?
Oh, I don't know if that plays as well in 2019, man.
There's only one way to play.
I don't know. You're a little risque.
All right. Well, maybe I'll just talk about the episode then.
All right, let's do it.
All right. Let's open on Tool Time. Tim and Al are driving on the set, which is a bit dangerous, especially since Tim's behind the wheel. But he makes it on okay. They're in a British Mini Cooper, I think.
I thought this was Jill's car, right?
No. That's not. The Healy is like a convertible, I thought.
Well, okay, then here's something. We definitely saw this car on the car lot when she went to go see Nigel.
Oh, okay.
I've seen this car before, right? I know for a fact that it's... I mean, I guess I'm not for a fact,
It's probably in Austin Powers. That's where you saw
it. Exact car. I mean, the funny thing is, you know what's weird is this episode in Austin Powers probably filming at about the same time, which is weird because in my head this feels so much older than Austin Powers.
Austin Powers is 20 years old.
I know, isn't this episode like 1997?
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Freaking nuts, my man. All right.
The best thing about Austin Powers is that NPR had like a whole hour-long special of it for its 20-year anniversary, and I got to listen to it. It
was a phenomenon, particularly the first and second one. Goldmember, I don't know, yeah. But I mean, there's some stuff in there. But first and second one, you're talking.
It's a bit more. I don't know. Niche. Let's say niche.
Yeah, I think that in the first 2 they were really spending a lot of time crafting the jokes, and the third one I think they were just sort of like,
They had somebody like me come in there and
just like feed them shit because that's what they're eating, you know.
Yeah, I don't remember that one nearly as well. So just the first and second.
I know that Beyonce is not very good in it. Because as much as
you mean
Beyonce,
Foxy Cleopatra?
Yeah, I think she's quite poor in that one. And
great hair though.
Well, she's a whole lot of woman. Yeah, you're getting a lot of fat bastard as well, which for me is like a little bit goes a long way. But.
Yeah, that is definitely one of those. When he starts getting emotional, you've lost me.
Well, that's what you say about me.
Well, there's a reason why I end the podcast every time when you start getting emotional.
I know, yeah, that sucks. All right. Keep going.
Where were we? Oh, it's Engine Week. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about V8s, and we're not talking about the juice. I think there is a joke about that in here.
Yeah, it's about how do you soup up a V8, add vodka.
Ba-dum-bum. Shh. Yeah. All right, well, we need to bring out someone who knows a little bit about engines to talk about them. And no, it's not the Andrettis. It's the Unsers. Al Unser, 1, 2, and 3. There's a little bit of a joke here where the son comes out named Al Unser, and Tim's a bit confused. He's like, "Where's your dad?" And then Al Unser comes out, his father, also with the same name. Not the Al Unser that we're looking for. And then the third Al Unser comes out, the one that we are looking for, the real expert on cars. And there's 4 Al's on set. They're going all out.
For sure, yeah. The Unsers have won the Indy 500 a record 9 times, so it's a whole family of racers. It goes deep.
Is the kid a racer now? Do you know?
Yeah. Yeah, he is. I don't think he's as good as the other ones, as the previous Unsers. But yeah, he's 36 now. He's born in Phoenix, and he competed in the Indy Light Series and the Toyota Atlantics Championship. So.
Wouldn't it be funny if he just went and did his own thing, and it was like, I don't know, he's a clown or something?
That would be so funny. I don't know. I was thinking
he just hates racing. He's heard so much of it.
Your whole family pushes racing on you, so you go in the opposite direction. You're like, I don't drive cars. I
walk everywhere. He's a professional walker.
He's into BMX or something, but he hates cars. I can tell you that Al Unser Jr. He's got a couple of DUIs. It looks like so. Or OWIs.
Well, when you're just such a good driver, you're just always driving. Whatever else you're doing in your life. So does he get away with it? Is that okay?
He was arrested in Albuquerque on charges of reckless driving and aggravated driving while intoxicated. He drag raced his Chevy Suburban at 100 miles per hour and was suspended from Indy. So, yeah, I don't know. Not great. Also,
this is exactly what Jill's going to be worried about later in the episode.
He got another DUI in May of this year.
Somebody take this guy's license away.
I mean, seriously, I know that we shoot our, I don't know if I'll call this guy a celebrity, but in some circles, he's got 4 DUIs. I guess this guy has a drinking problem, and it's probably not funny, but stop driving your car, Unser Jr.
Is this where we put in... There's been a few podcasts. Yeah, I feel like there's been a few podcasts we've been listening to that have...
The Bill Simmons thing?
Yeah.
Where it's
Why didn't they call us?
Hey, drive sober or get pulled over.
For real, though.
Unser Jr.
This is no joke.
It's true. That is the tagline. This episode will take us 6 years if we keep at our current pace, so...
and the audience will love every moment of it.
Are we done with this scene yet?
We do learn a couple of things. There's a lot of confusing stuff with the Als, but we do learn that Brad's getting his license today, and this kind of starts the first of many instances where everyone talks about how it's such a big day, and Al Unser offers Tim a cigar.
Yeah, not the drunk one. The drunk one's dad. So it's probably his fault that the son turned out that way. You know how you gotta blame somebody? Hey, we learn from our fathers. I don't know what to tell you. Do you like any of these Al jokes?
No, but if they're going to keep doing them, they might as well just, do 50 of them, I guess.
Interesting perspective. I disagree.
I don't know. Is it kind of like diminishing returns for you again?
I guess, no, I guess I didn't like any of them.
Just like Fat Bastard. This is the exact same thing.
I like Fat Bastard more than I like Al jokes.
All right. That's a crazy hill to die on
I always laugh when Fat Bastard sings the Chili's song. I'm not going to do it, but it's funny.
Thank you for that. I forgot about that. That's incredible.
Next scene, home. Driver's test for Brad. He's taking it. I was a little confused by the timetable of this. Is he taking his driver's test does some time pass between when he takes a driver's test and when he drives next, or what's the deal with that?
They don't make any indication of that, but as far as I know, that's how it works.
Okay. All right. So driving test for Brad. I wrote down food jokes. Oh, yeah. Jill makes some pretty crappy waffles or something.
They're rock hard.
They're...
Why does that make you laugh?
I don't know.
That's the joke. They keep punching them.
You saying it is a little silly. All right. Sometime later, it would just kind of flash to later. Brad passed the test. The audience claps. And this family is ready to celebrate with him. I think they're a little naive to think that Brad's going to want to go out with them in the car the first night he gets his license. He instead wants to go hang out with the boys.
Who's more naive in this? So Mark and Randy think Brad's going to be like their chauffeur when he gets the license, or
that's such a TV thing to do. It's basically the plot of the Seinfeld within the Seinfeld. He's my butler, that's why. I don't know, just such a TV thing.
Yeah.
Except in that one, a judge sentences Jerry to be a butler.
Well, Brad kind of sentences himself in this episode to be a chauffeur, so...
Yeah, Tim wants to...
I'm sorry, I don't know where you were at.
Tim wants to go with the boys, but with Brad and the fellas, but he says no. There are some rules: no drinking, no sex, no drugs, no mooning while the car is in gear. When it's parked, well, you do so
Use
at your
your
own
judgment.
at your own discretion. Jill is scared or nervous. He has a curfew of 10, but he is to call at 8. So they're not asking too much, I guess. That seems pretty reasonable to me.
I would say so, especially for his first night.
Yeah, I think
Must be a Friday night because they're talking about going to like a game or
basketball
something.
game. Yeah, the basketball game. The game with the boys.
Game with the boys. All right. Well, sounds like they're gonna have fun, and Jill's gonna freak out the whole time. So they're heading over to Patty's, which they kind of set up in the last scene. Jill's chatting on the phone with Patty about maybe coming over or whatever. They go to Patty's. They meet Doug, her boyfriend. Seems recognizable to me, but I can't actually place him. Maybe you'll have some
lot
information.
of credits. His name is George Del Hoyo, and he has, not that many credits, actually. 49 credits. Some recognizable stuff. I mean, he does a voice in Rango. He's in Tales from the Crypt, Galactica 1980. Recently was in the show 911, Days of Our Lives. Let me scroll down. I don't know, he started acting again, but he wasn't doing much for a while. I thought he looked familiar too.
He's got a great voice, is what I noticed. Maybe on radio?
He will maybe got a face for radio. He will come back again in another episode of Home Improvement. I'm trying to see if there's anything else that you would know him from. I mean, episode of Cheers, episode of Frasier. No, I don't think so.
Okay. All right. Well, I don't know. Recognizable face. Some people have that. So they meet Doug. Doug and Tim hit it off pretty quickly. Doug's a general contractor, and everyone at work loves Tim's show, and they talk shop a little bit. Everyone, they continue this joke here where everyone thinks that getting driver licenses is like the most important thing that a human ever gets, which I kind of think is curious, but they keep that going. Everybody's a car guy in this episode, so I guess that's why that works. Jill is just a little nervous in this scene. Like, the oven timer goes off, and she thinks it's the phone, even though it's not anywhere near 8 o'clock, so she's just fretful this whole episode. The guys start recounting their first night with a car, which does not do any favors for Jill and her, fear. So Doug is talking about how he took his 66 Lincoln and did some drag racing. Not quite the same drag racing that Al Unser did, but he was going 120 miles an hour. Tim loves it, Jill hates it. Tim shares that he raced a freight train and then quickly backtracks into a lie.
Right.
So, yeah, they're not doing any favors here. Adam, do you remember the first night you got your car and what that was like? I can't remember like anything specifically that I
gotta
did.
be honest. I don't remember the first night of my car. I do remember the first night of a friend's car.
Okay.
I don't know why. Ryan Thornburg, past roommate,
friend of
the pod, Richard Karn, ally. He got his license really early on in the school year, our sophomore year. So I remember when he got his license and he could kind of start driving us around, it really marked sort of a change in kind of my life, it felt like, at the time, because he was the first friend that could drive. We could do stuff on weekends and stuff. So I remember him getting his license and being in his car pretty quickly after that. But I didn't turn 16 until March. So by that point, most people had their licenses, and I don't know. It just didn't seem like as big of a thing as him having his license. An interesting thing to note nowadays, I guess there's a thing now where kids don't really get their licenses when
they
they're 16.
don't like to drive.
It's not It's not for me. I drove to school the first day I could.
Yes,
and I maybe not as excited as this episode posits that people should be, but it was a big deal when I got my license, and I was I was driving on my own the day that I could. Maybe that's a Midwest thing, also, like a small town Midwest thing too.
Perhaps,
but yeah, I mean, it was a big deal at the time for sure. You don't remember your first day driving?
I don't remember my first day. I remember, having my car, and I remember driving around with it and all that kind of stuff. And I don't remember like our first days. I do remember being in a car where I remember hearing stories of people that lived in my neighborhood, I guess I would say, who like to try to jump the railroad tracks, which I thought
I was with somebody that I've been a part of that before. Yeah,
I thought it was very stupid.
It is, but man, I only did it once with somebody, and man, you can really get some air. It's scary. In hindsight, it's incredibly scary.
Stupid and scary.
And it's also like right by a school, and like the ticket you would get would be so steep, but man, it's pretty scary. It's
See,
cool,
now the
though.
railroad tracks that I remember them doing it by was not by a school, but it was by like that private airport that was right there off of Gale Road.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
So-
where my dad had vending machines at Regal Press.
This is a real deep cut right now.
Hey, all you Regal Press heads out there, holla.
No, so I remember that being a thing. I remember being in a car with another friend of the pod who he was like drag racing or trying to drag race.
Yeah.
Another friend that pulled up at the light, and then there was a cop right behind him. So
Who was it?
it was Jared, and
He's really not a friend of the pod, though. Like,
Well,
let's be honest, he's a friend of ours, but not the pod.
friend of the pod host.
Yeah.
And so he got pulled over, and then they put him in the back of the cop car with like handcuffs and stuff, and they were gonna have me drive his car home, and they basically just tried to scare the
That's
crap
the kind
out
of
of him.
stuff that would just always happen in a small town, like just like overreaction, like
Yeah.
handcuffs in the back of a car. Get real. Like 16-year-olds get their license like every year.
And they just wanted to scare him straight.
I know, but
much
that's
like
dumb.
Prison
that's,
Mike.
That's dumb and sort of unethical. But that's a whole different conversation. Yeah, I mean, good times, I guess. I don't know.
Maybe for the question of the week, we'll talk about our cars, just like we talked about our work.
Have we
before.
not already? Well, all right.
Have we talked about every car that we owned?
I don't
doubt
want to.
it. Too bad. We're going to. People really loved it last time we did that. So
That episode hasn't come out yet.
I know.
So,
That's what I was
okay.
just kind of saying. All right. Back to the episode later at Patty's. There's a lot of Patty's here. What do you think of Patty's apartment? You like it?
It's interesting. It's pretty modern. I'm envisioning her living like downtown Detroit, but
That's
I
what
could
it
be wrong.
seems like. You know, it's a nice small apartment.
They didn't do a little sloppy at some points here because you can tell that like the camera goes up a little too high and you can see like the studio lights and stuff like when the cabinets end like above the I don't know. Probably should have taken a look at this scene because I was seeing a lot of like studio lights throughout this. So
It's
put it
just
on
it's a
IMDb,
very
goof.
specialized apartment. You know,
It's like every apartment in Milwaukee is a converted factory.
exactly.
Basically. I mean,
exactly.
yeah, I mean, not ours; they're too expensive. But
Yours is a house with some strange people below or above,
I can't say. They might listen.
sideways.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So Patty's apartment, decent. Strange lighting. Later at Patty's, it's just 8 o'clock. Just after 8 o'clock, and Brad hasn't called yet. Why hasn't he called, Adam?
I don't know.
Man, neither does Jill.
Yeah.
And everyone's trying to talk her down a little bit. Patty gets a phone call, but it's her mom. So Jill is like ready to answer, but it's not, right? And then she's got call waiting, and of course this must be Brad. But no, someone has called, and a baby girl has been born.
I thought this was funny.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's good.
Especially the call on the other line really got me.
Definitely anything to make Jill worse and worse in this episode, so.
Oh, man, you're coming down on Jill.
No. I mean, like, have her freak out more and more.
Hey, like I said earlier.
I would never come down on Patricia Richardson. No way.
Broken clocks right twice a day. Later, still no call. And,
No.
Jill is, her concern is
Jill's
just
being ghosted.
grow. It's kind of like my landlord right now. I want him to put in a screen when we're missing a screen in one of our spare bedrooms, and I texted him, and he just didn't respond. Just not interested, not having it. Ghosted by
Do
my
it yourself.
landlord. Tuesdays on Fox.
Oh, man. That's too bad.
Yeah, it's funny. Not really. See,
Not for you. For him, it's hilarious.
yeah, I mean,
You keep paying.
yeah, it's gonna be funny when we move in October. All right. Everybody's concerned. Jill and Tim are kind of starting to fight about it a little bit. Phone rings, and we find out Brad has been in an accident. And we get something here that we're going to be getting a lot in the next, if my memory serves me, the next couple of seasons. We're going to get a lot of sad guitar riffs. Because, like, Home Improvement starts to kind of lean into the...
Things are going wrong.
Yeah, or just, like, it becomes a little more emotional. If you remember the promos, the final season stuff. And, like, I don't know, we start to tackle real world stuff, and the sad guitar becomes basically a cast member, you know?
Just like the logo.
Ding, 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 ding.
Do you think we should start playing, like, on your soundboard a sad guitar riff every time something like this happens?
I just did. That sounds like a bell. I gotta figure it out, but I'll get there. Sad guitar riff. We gotta start counting these. We're at one.
We're at one. There probably was one in the cancer scare
There
episode.
had to have been one in the cancer
Maybe like
scare.
4. Who knows?
Grung, 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 grung.
Would you have liked it if they did a scene where Jill, tries to get the PA announcer at the basketball game to call for Brad?
Yeah, it would have been funny. It would have required too many extras, though. Too much money.
What a shame. Every time I think of announcers at a basketball game, I think of your dad.
Yeah, me too. Every time I think of my dad, I think of my dad.
That's weird.
Yeah.
Why would you do that?
I don't know. Yeah. Every time my dad talks about announcing, he's always like, man, those were the good old days.
I was going to say, were there his glory days? I bet you he loved every second of that, though.
How could he not? Yeah, particularly basketball. He didn't like football as much.
Really?
I don't think I'm speaking out of school. Well, no, he liked basketball quite a bit more.
Well, who doesn't?
Yeah.
Maybe more action?
More action. I think he felt more a part of the action. Like, you're up in football, you're up in the press box and stuff. You're
Yeah.
a million miles away from the field.
Everybody looks at the box weird when you say something weird.
Those Davison basketball gymnasiums were pretty electric for some of those years. There were some good seasons.
Basket by Con.
Right, yeah, and he liked that. And,
Yeah.
I think there's probably a certain amount of attention that he got from the basketball
It all went straight to his head.
I don't know. Yeah, I guess. I'm going up there this weekend, so I can't really say anything.
Don't play this episode for him.
Hey, we're okay. He listened to when he was on.
I will say that it's all those calls, I can hear them in my head now. So
Me too. Yeah, for sure.
iconic Brad Dietz.
Sure, yeah, definitely. The voice of Davison.
And I'm sure they miss him. All right. So they didn't do that. No, they didn't. But, guitar riff, back to the guitar riff. There's been a little accident. Did we talk about that?
No, we're about to.
All right.
He ran into a pole.
Uh-oh.
That's it.
Been there.
I don't know if we find out until, I guess we do find out when he calls that it was just a pole.
It says right away, and Tim's wondering about the car more than Brad, so.
Yeah.
Classic.
It's not a strip club pole, though. That would have been crazy.
That would have been a wrinkle.
I would have rather that happened, but yeah. All right. As they leave, though, I don't know why they did this, but Patty's boyfriend calls Brad Brian. It's like,
Yeah,
that's weird.
it was stupid. It didn't make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah, but it'd be funny if he'd been doing it like the whole scene, but like all of a sudden he's like, I hope Brian's okay, and they're like, his name's
It's Brad.
And it's like, okay, is that a joke, or what are we doing? Or did they actually legitimately get the name wrong and they just kept it?
They just kept improving.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, and Doug is likable, so this kind of undermines his character a little
it's right.
bit.
It does like paint him as being like dumb, but he seems like he's a pretty stand-up dude for most of the scene.
Just doesn't make a lot of sense.
I think it's just stupid.
Gelman?
Gelman, hey, Gelman, you're crazy. And you made a bad joke.
All right. Well, good call by you. I noticed it in the moment, but I didn't think
It's
too
just
much about
it
it.
just doesn't quite work. All right, home. We find out here that we're in the garage, and Mark and Randy
With them
come out.
boys.
Well, dem boys in the garage. We find out here that Brad he didn't hit a pole. He rear-ended a guy on Woodward. What's he doing in downtown Detroit?
Yeah, why? He goes to the busiest road in Detroit.
I know. Yeah, it's no wonder. Yeah, that's basically like where like Comerica Park is, right in the heart of Detroit and stuff. Was the basketball game there? What conference did they play in? They play in Detroit Country Day. How much did they lose by? These are questions I had.
That you'll never get an answer.
They'll never get an answer to. The guy, he gave the guy $400.
Where's he got $400? Well, he doesn't.
And then he's like, "You guys owe me $200. Like, can I borrow $200?" So like, did he give the guy $400, or did he give the guy $200?
He gave him $200, and he's gonna PayPal him the other $200.
Okay, well that's interesting. I don't know. He gave the guy $400 to keep quiet. Do things like this happen? I guess like I've heard of people that don't have insurance or whatever.
Yeah.
Doing this or like paying somebody like because they don't want to go through insurance companies. You ever hear about this happening?
Hey, you hear about this?
Jay, this happens all the time. And hey, you guys, welcome to Jay's Garage. I want to talk about something near my heart today, and that is insurance companies.
Well, it can raise rates even if you
For sure.
didn't cause the accident. So I guess that's probably what he's going for here. And maybe he can fix it himself. So he's just taking the cash.
I kind of thought this guy was a con man, though.
Well, he's definitely a con man because he's getting $400 and then some.
Do you think he'd... Well, let's save that for later.
Yeah. Do you
whatever.
think he what?
I'm going to save it for later.
All right, fine.
If I say I'm going to save something for later, it doesn't mean I want to talk about it now. So why do you always...
You're very confusing.
Yeah. Parents come home. There's green paint on the fender. I could not notice anything wrong with the car. I think they probably should have done a little bit more.
I definitely noticed that there was a little bit of a dent in the front right fender bumper, whatever. Yeah, in the front.
I couldn't really see it.
You definitely couldn't see any green or anything.
I'm watching in HD and I'm not seeing jack shit. So maybe they should have done a little bit more.
You have to watch the DVDs to get this. So
is it a bonus feature or something?
Yeah, it's director's cut.
The green paint, they're like, why is there green paint in the car? The pole was green. I mean, like, at that point, you gotta know he's lying.
I guess so, but it's possible that could have happened, I guess. But yeah, he does deliver it pretty bad. So
the pole's green.
Eddie can take care of it, though, so Tim's not that worried. So
it's not a big deal at all. It's a surprisingly small deal. I think if I hit a telephone pole the first night I was driving, my parents would probably still be kind of mad.
I would say so.
I don't know. All right. I'll let you take the next scene. I've been doing all the heavy lifting.
All of it. You always do.
My arms are tired.
Your back's tired from carrying the team. All right. Later, Brad is in between rides. He has become a chauffeur for Randy because Randy's kind of keeping the secret for him and Mark as well. Jill is thankful for Brad's help around the house because he is taking his brothers around, helping them, I don't know, dropping them off at whatever.
He's driving Mr. Randy.
He is. And didn't Mark say he did something... Well, he's probably talking to all those cool girls and meeting up with them, so he's got to take Mark to hang out with the girls. So, anyways, they do want to still celebrate with a dinner, and they're mostly now, like, along with getting this driver license, they're saying, hey, you were honest about your accident. So they're really just, like...
They're playing it up a little bit much,
pouring salt on the wound a little bit here. So Brad feels extra bad.
Do you think... Okay, so, eventually the plot, I guess I gotta save this for later too, man. I'm saving too much for later. Let's just get there. All right.
Phone rings.
Yeah, you do it. Go ahead.
Phone rings. It's George Preston. Who's George Preston, you ask? He's an attorney at law.
Whoa.
Uh-oh.
Sam Bernstein. Should have been Bernstein. That'd be cool.
Bernstein. Favorite Bernstein?
I mean, you're putting me in a tough spot because...
They're all good.
Well, yeah... People were kind of not that nice to the blind guy back in the day.
Yeah, people are the worst, so.
Yeah.
I gotta say Sam. He's the OG. Sam Bernstein.
The girl's good. She's all right.
She's good.
Yeah, the girl. I think I'm going to say her.
Down here, it's Dan Newlin and... Oh, man, who's the other guy? I don't know.
In Milwaukee, it's David Gruber. And
Gruber?
He's got a lot. Man, he must be really rich. He's got so many billboards, and he is like the main sponsor of the Bucks.
Yeah, I mean, these lawyers definitely know how to use marketing.
It's pretty crazy that like a local lawyer like basically does. And the Bucks are pretty big right now. Basically, they're the lone sponsor. I mean, you get you get the Harley Davidson patch on the uniform, but like it's mostly Gruber.
Well, the reason that we're talking about Sam Bernstein so much is he was basically the main sponsor for the Tigers, right?
For sure. Yeah. I mean, I guess you're bringing up a good point.
Am I?
Yeah, you're bringing up a really good point. Bernstein, is he still alive? This is going to be unlistenable, this episode, unless you're from Davison. So you better reach out to about everybody who went to high school with.
Oh, my goodness.
That's 400 people.
That's good.
It doesn't matter if he's alive.
All right.
I think he's alive. If he died, I think I would know.
You're on the hotline. They make a call
Somebody
to you
would
first.
tell me. I think my dad would tell me. My dad sends me a lot of things via text. I think he would text me if Sam Bernstein
I wonder
died.
if my mom would. She sends me a lot of stuff on Facebook, so maybe that's something that would sneak through.
Okay.
All right. Well,
yeah.
We haven't received it yet. Sam Bernstein's still alive. Case closed.
In Illinois, it was Law Tigers. No name, but they were the Law Tigers.
The most infuriating thing about this conversation is I'm definitely missing, like, the main one who advertises all the time. Like, they just threw a Pitbull concert hosted by these people, and I can't...
some money.
I can't remember their names.
I remember when I went and visited your old place down there, it was like a lot of billboards right before we got off the expressway. A lot of strip clubs, but also a lot of lawyers.
Strip clubs? No, not right before you get off the expressway. That's like for when you just get into Florida.
Hey, man. I saw what I saw.
You remember what you want to remember, it sounds like.
I remember there was like a lot of like strip club billboards like right by your house, kind of like in your yard almost.
Well, I should say, in my living room, we now have space and a pole.
There's a pole. Hit it with your car.
All right, so George Preston, the attorney at law, calls. Randy answers the phone. Brad quickly takes the phone from him and starts impersonating his dad. It turns out this dude who took the $400 and said that Brad would be off the hook is now suing for whiplash.
Yeah, okay, now I can get to my points.
Finally.
First question. Suing for whiplash, was this guy doing a con all along? Did he hit the brakes and hope that this young driver behind him would hit him, and then he's kind of extorting him for $400 and going to sue him for whiplash? Do you think that's a possibility?
I think you and I would not do this because we're decent human beings, but he saw a wet behind-the-ears driver who was panicking first night in the car.
Yeah.
And he took advantage of him.
Okay, I kind of think so too. Cool. Second question. Do you think if this doesn't happen that Brad confesses to his parents?
No.
I kind of don't think so either, which I sort of appreciated because I thought the whole time that he was just going to confess because he felt guilty and they were taking him out to dinner and stuff. But, like, in reality, you probably wouldn't do that because, I don't know.
He would have taken that with him to the grave.
Who's it hurting, ultimately? Like, you're just going to get in trouble, you learn from it, whatever. But, like, I don't think he would have told the truth. Tell the truth.
Yeah, if they would have made him, like, go to the dinner scene and then he just can't handle it anymore, it would have been
kind of lame.
Pretty trite,
right?
So...
Yeah,
I mean, I'm glad this guy extorted him.
I don't know if I am. Well, hey, you know what? I'll tell you who I'm glad to hear from this episode for the first time. That's Wilson, because Brad heads outside, and we're going to play a clip.
Hey, Wilson, what are you doing?
Well, hi-ho, Taylor Teen. I am sculpting a shrine out of yak butter.
Yak butter?
Mm-hmm. Spreads so much easier than yak margarine. Actually, making shrines is a traditional way of celebrating the Buddhist prayer festival of Tibet.
Yeah, I've been doing some praying of my own. I dented somebody's car and I'm praying my dad doesn't kill me.
You hit a car? Your father told me you hit a pole.
That's what I told him. Because I didn't want him to get mad at me and take my license away.
Well, Brad, what makes you think he would have been so strict?
Well, you know, driving's everything to my dad. He was the youngest member to ever join AAA.
Well, I know that. I saw the slides of his first emergency roadside service.
I'm gonna need a pretty big tow truck to pull me out of this mess.
So you're saying that if your father found out you hit another car, he would view that as an unforgivable offense?
Yeah.
Well, Brad, it seems to me he might consider lying a far worse offense.
So either way, I'm in deep yak butter.
You know, Brad, the novelist Hans Suyin had some very choice words for situations like this. Truth, like surgery, might hurt, but it cures.
Yeah, my mom and dad also have a few choice words for situations like this. But I'm not allowed to say them.
All right, Wilson is sculpting a shrine out of yak butter, something that I do every other Wednesday. And Brad comes out looking for advice.
Any given Wednesday, Bill Simmons. Hey, you know what You know what I want those billionaires to do?
What?
Hey, billionaires, build your own fucking stadiums. You remember that in the promo?
No, I don't even know what you're talking about right now.
Any Given Wednesday, the Bill Simmons show on HBO that bombed?
Oh, wow. That's what that was called, huh? I kind of put that one behind me.
He had a really bad promo. I mean, I like Bill Simmons, mostly. Been a big fan for a long time. Talk about him a lot in this podcast. But, like, he had a really bad promo where it was like, These are the things I believe in. And then at the end, it's like ramping up. And yeah, I think billionaires should build their own, effing stadiums. And it was really cheesy.
It's one of those things where, he's kind of out on his own. And you work your way through and you refine and get better. It's like our first episodes of Home and Podcast that are probably dreadful. And
I think so, but it was just like very much
now.
like... It was very much just like, hey guys, I can swear on this, so I'm going to. I'm going to send you the clip when we're done.
I'm no longer working for Disney.
Hey guys, bye Mickey. I'm with HBO, and on Big Little Lies and The Sopranos, we swear.
All right. Oh boy.
Jeez.
You going to Mickey now?
I
was going to say,
want that. D23, don't do that 23 times.
I would say that he just used that show for, he was just trying to get his company underway.
Are you still talking about Bill Simmons?
I don't know anymore what I'm talking about. We're talking about yak butter.
I mean, hey, look, if we're talking about Bill Simmons, yeah, that show was really bad, but it kind of seems like things are working out.
From what I hear, his thing is get your reps in. So he was getting his reps in.
Look, I was really down on The Ringer at first.
Now you like it a lot, don't you?
Hey, look, I'm willing to admit when I was wrong. I think I was wrong about The Ringer. I used to think Deadspin was so cool, and now I think Deadspin... Do you know Deadspin?
I know Deadspin, but I never was into it,
okay.
So...
Well, I used to think Deadspin was like way better than The Ringer, but now, I think Deadspin's pretty lame, and I'm Team Ringer.
Do you read a lot of...
If anybody wants to talk to me about this,
go to At Home and Podcast to talk about it. Do you read the stuff on the website, or are you mostly like I just consume podcasts basically? So that's all. And at this point, I'm really only listening to his because there's so many out there. So
read some. Yeah,
you're a big fan of the live stream of the draft and all that kind of stuff.
I think that stuff is mostly pretty good. I have trouble with some of the personalities on there.
Well, when you have like 8 or 10 people up there, you're going to have some you don't like.
Yeah, I think they're doing good work. That's all I'm going to say. And we got to... All right, Fence, what do you got?
Brad comes out for advice, and he's worried...
I think billionaires should build their own fucking yak butter.
All right, Brad is worried about his license getting taken away, and it's... Wilson says, do you think he would have been so strict? Do you think he would have been so strict, Adam?
I actually think it would have played out pretty much exactly like it did anyways, so I don't know. He kind of just delayed his 30-day no driving sentence.
I feel like it's hard to know what would have happened if, he tells the truth, but ideally, if you're Tim, the way you parent is he gets a worse sentence because he doesn't tell the truth, but I guess you don't really know because that's not...
So what, it originally would have gotten like 2 weeks without driving?
Yeah, now it's double.
Yeah. Hey, I don't know. You're the father. You tell me.
Maybe that's what you say, even though you don't know. But anyways, Brad thought line was better. Wilson says the truth, like surgery, might hurt, but it cures. You want to break out the pulsometer?
Hot as hell.
It's basically like hell in here. All right.
102. Yeah. Fahrenheit. Right. 102 Fahrenheit, not Celsius. That'd be really hot.
Are you talking Kelvin?
Degrees Kelvin. How do you get degrees Kelvin? Add 32 or something? All right, doesn't matter.
That's Celsius.
Oh, shoot. Okay, garage.
Celsius
Tim's working on the car. Brad comes in to confess, but also Jill comes in, and they're really freaking laying it on him. And they're like, oh, we're going to go to dinner. We're so proud of you. You
steak,
did so good.
baby. We're getting steak.
Yeah, steaks. Sounds good.
I don't even really like steak that much, so this would not go for me.
What would you rather have?
I'd take you to Colombia. You know all about Colombia.
Did I go there?
I took you there.
That's okay. Sorry.
How dare you? That was a romantic evening.
I didn't remember the name. Okay, yeah, it was good. I'm sorry. It was fun. I'm sorry. Whatever. Fine. All right. Brad confesses. They're mad. No driving for 30 days. That's it.
I mean, yeah, that's it.
This episode was the first time I've ever okay, and then the credits start to roll, and I was like, this was the first time I've ever watched Home Improvement and been like, that's it. Like we're not getting any more. I guess I like this episode because I kind of wanted more.
We needed a two-parter.
Yeah,
they needed to draw it out. They needed to draw it out long enough that the call where Brad's in an accident is the end of the first episode.
I thought we would at least get I don't know. I was surprised that the credits rolled, to be honest. And the next episode is not going to cover this, so that's too bad.
I don't know. Did you see what the title is?
Yeah, but it's about Tim separating his shoulder. Sorry.
I don't ever look at the summaries, so.
So yeah, I was surprised this one ended, and it did. I mean, Brad's grounded for 30 days, whatever. I guess Jill talks about her motherly instinct a little bit more.
Her basic instinct.
Yeah. I think if you'd seen that movie, you wouldn't maybe be talking about it in the context that you are, but sure. We do get a final scene. Could have done without this. The Als are back, and they're all wearing sweatshirts, differentiating them. I don't know. That's it.
Big Al, Little Al, Normal Al, or Norm Al, Abnorm Al.
Well,
Al.
And here's a new one. I'll be in jail if I get another DUI. Roll credits, fade to black. Al and the family, my son the driver.
All right.
Jordan, highs and lows.
A nickel for my thoughts, you say? All right.
No, he's not. He doesn't pay us anymore.
He paid us one time so much that he deserves it forever.
Fine.
All right. Yeah, I mean, much like you, I think it's a pretty decent episode, although I didn't, at the time, I was just kind of going through it and didn't really recognize that I enjoyed it as much as I did. But I liked Doug. He seemed like an interesting character. We'll get him back one more time, like you said. It's nice to see Patty come back, you know. She was kind of talked up in that last episode. Gelman does exclusive Patty episodes, I think is what we get.
Patty, come back!
You can blame it all on me. All right.
Is that one of your 5 favorite songs?
No, that is not on my list, unfortunately. You know what song really annoys me that's on?
What's that?
Come On, Eileen.
Oh, man, I really like that song.
Also, Angel in the Centerfold. I don't like either.
I like that one, too. Sorry, man.
All right. Yeah, I don't know. I like this idea for an episode because for us, like, getting your license was just kind of a memorable experience, and driving around in the car with her friends and stuff like that. So it made me relive that, so I enjoyed that. It made me go down memory lane a little bit. I don't like, now that you pointed out that they couldn't figure out the studio lights. That's kind of a detail thing. But I don't know. I mean, there's not like a lot of funny stuff in this episode. You know what I mean? Like, is the funny stuff supposed to be the Al stuff? Because if that's it, then that's not funny at all.
I disagree.
So,
I disagree.
You think there's a lot of funny stuff here?
I mean, there's some. I think I like this episode more than you. I would bet this will be in my top 3 of the year. I really enjoyed this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess before I let you, I'm gonna say okay. Like, it was
okay.
It was interesting. I'll put it. I would say above average, but it's not like.
You're interesting.
Nah, I know that though.
Yeah. All right.
Take it away.
I like this episode for the following reasons. I like these like foundational kind of adolescent episodes, like getting a license. I don't know. That's like I don't know. I like that. That appeals to me because I've lived through it. Like you said, we talked about cars. That's fun. This is something we can kind of relate to. So I like it from that perspective. I like the central conflict. I like Brad lying. I think that was an interesting twist. I didn't see that coming. Added a layer. I thought the whole conflict of the episode was going to be that Brad didn't call when he was supposed to, and he hit a pole. But actually, there's more to it than that. So it's the rare home improvement episode that is more complex than I perceived it to be. I thought the jokes were kind of funny. I didn't like the Al stuff at all, so I will talk about that in a second. But like the stuff with the phone call, and it's her mother, it's a baby, like I thought that was funny. There's some good stuff with the mooning.
Yeah, I did like the mooning jokes.
The stories about them like drag racing their cars and stuff, and like Jill getting kind of upset by that and frightened, I thought was pretty funny. I liked the guest star, and I even like the Wilson scene. So yeah, I really like this one. The lows, I mean, the Al stuff is really bad. That bookends the episode, but it's short enough, and the stuff in the middle is good enough to overcome that. So yeah, I really enjoyed this one.
You know what, Adam? I'm going to say something I don't often say.
You're right.
I think you've convinced me. I think this is a good episode.
Whoa, wow, you're so easy to convince. Right.
You laid it out there in such a concise and spectacular way.
Well, you like the complexity of it. You're a complex guy.
Yeah, if it's complex for you, then it's definitely complex for me. So,
What is that? Are you dissing yourself or me? I'm not sure.
I'll let the audience decide. All right.
All right.
With that, we hope you guys enjoyed the episode. We're going to move on to Sean's social media corner. Reach out to us at thehomeandpodcast.com. We're on Facebook and Twitter. We're on YouTube as well. If you want to support the show, you can go to patreon.com/homeandpodcast. Thank you for those who do that. Thank you for those who just listen. We appreciate anybody who listens and listens to us talk about stupid crap like Sam Bernstein for about an hour and a half. And if you'd like to, you can go and leave us a review on iTunes. Adam might sing. He might do some slam poetry. He might do...
I'm not doing slam poetry.
He might do that thing where there's like hands bursting out of fabric. I don't know what it is.
I will do that, but you won't see it. I always do that.
You do that before every episode?
During.
All right. Well, lots of opportunities there to support us. And with that, Adam, you want to tell me what's going on Twitter?
Couple polls, but here's the thing, Jordan. We've got 12 minutes left, so I think we should just wait it out. This episode hasn't had enough like bullshit, so let's just like riff for 12 more minutes. No,
I think we could do it.
I'm calling it. All right, so 2 polls this week. First one, 14 total votes. Do you believe in life after love? I did.
Was there any context to this?
Al is like breaking up from Eileen.
Okay. All right,
also, I heard this guy walking down my street like a week ago, just like singing the song really loud. He was kind of drunk, but I was sort of enjoying him singing it, so I think it was just sort of fresh in my mind.
Okay.
14 total votes, as I said. 21% said no, they do not believe in life after love. 79% do. So, you know, I think that makes sense. It's good.
We know what Cher thinks, so.
What did she think? I mean, I can feel something inside me. Said, I really don't think you're strong enough. Is that yes or no? Question of the day will be: does Cher actually believe in life after love? And then we'll get the lyrics out. All right, 32 votes on this one. This one went ham.
Oh yeah.
Have you ever been to a wedding where the couple ended up not getting married? 32 votes. 97% no. 3% yes. I really want to hear the yes story.
Oh man, that's amazing.
One guy DM'd me and said that he slid in the DMs. Benjamin Pope. He was trying to say that he had a good story, and I think Ben's been listening for a while. Basically, he was telling me about a wedding where the couple divorced after a year and a half. Ooh. That happens a lot. That's not that interesting. Sorry, Ben.
Yeah, and it's sad.
Oh, I'm not less concerned about that. But so yeah, interesting poll. People did go hard on it, but I really want to hear that yes story. So if you're the person that has been to a wedding where the couple didn't get married,
please reach out.
Get that to us somehow. There was a picture that was floating around via @Actor Trivia. It's a home improvement behind the scenes photo of Tim and Al at I guess is it the Copper Kettle? Is that the breakfast place?
I think so.
And it's a cool picture. It's like behind the scenes. You'd have to look at it on the Twitter, but it's kind of fun. Other than that,
it's real 90s, right? Is that what you said on the?
I said just a very cool picture.
Oh,
someone else said this is just total 90s nostalgia.
Okay,
but I didn't say that, so it doesn't matter then. I think that's it because we've talked about a lot of other stuff. So we're still trying to get like JTT and Zachary Ty Bryan and everybody, but hey, we got Bill O'Leary and he did fake cocaine on our show. So like, really, what more can you guys ask for? You know,
it's true. I think
I've basically delivered.
Nowhere to go but down after that. So
yeah.
All right. Well, that's really interesting, Adam. Thanks for sharing all that.
Yeah,
I guess we don't have any new reviews or anything, which is unfortunate. So, you know, people get on that. Maybe there's just only 42 people who listen to this show, and they've already left their reviews.
Nah, we got way more than that, like 420,000.
Prove us wrong. Prove me wrong. Adam has faith in you. So
yeah.
All right. Don't have anything in the mailbag, correct?
No.
It's time for the question of the week. And we're going to talk about something. Either we're going to talk about, does Cher believe in life after love, or we're going to talk about all the cars that you've owned.
Okay, I have the Cher lyrics up, so let's talk about this. So
all right.
The question is, does Cher actually believe in life after love? And I'm going to read you the lyrics, and let's kind of decide.
Let's do it.
Is this the worst thing we've ever done? Yeah. Okay, I'm not going to sing it, though. No matter how hard I try, you keep pushing me aside, and I can't break through. There's no talking to you. It's so sad that you're leaving. It takes time to believe it, but after all is said and done, you're going to be the lonely one. Okay, so you're going to be the lonely one makes me believe that she does believe in life after love because she's saying, You're going to be lonely. I'm going to be fine. I'm moving on. What do you think?
She's in a real dark place right there, because it kind of starts out as she's really struggling a little bit, and she's kind of progressing. It turns into a little bit of feistiness towards her ex-lover there. So
Definitely.
I'm not sure if she believes it yet, but she wants to believe it. Let's keep going.
I just gave you such a clear out, but you're like, no, I want to do more. Oh my god. All right. Okay. Do we need to all right, I'll read this is the chorus. Do you believe in life after love? I can feel something inside me say, I really don't think you're strong enough. So she's saying now that
I told you she wants to believe it, but she doesn't yet.
Okay. Do you believe in life after love? I can feel something inside me. That's the same thing again. Okay. So yeah, she's really trying to convince herself. All right.
What's the last stanza here?
It's the same thing repeated again. Here we go again. What am I supposed to do? Sit around and wait for you? Well, I can't do that. And there's no turning back. I need time to move on. I need a love to feel strong. Because I've got time to think it through. And maybe I'm too good for you? Okay, so I need time to move on. She thinks she can move on. I need a love to feel strong. Okay, she needs that. And there's no turning back. I think she believes in life after love.
I mean, I think she should stop focusing so much on the other guy if she really wants to move on.
She needs to move past him, but she is hung up on him. But
That's the problem. She can't
Jordan,
get to the life after love until she forgets about the love before.
Hey, listen. You can be hung up on someone and still believe in life after love.
That's true, but I don't think she does yet. Keep going.
That's kind of it. Like, all the
That's
lyrics
it. There's
are
only
sort of
two.
the same.
There's only two.
It's all repeating after this. Well, okay. Here we go. Well, I know that I'll get through this, because I know that I am strong.
Okay.
I don't need you anymore.
Hey.
I don't need you anymore.
Hey.
I don't need you anymore.
Wow.
No, I don't need you anymore. Okay, so I think she just got past him.
Yeah, this is like the epiphany moment right here.
It's the aha moment, as they
This
say.
is the climax. She's getting right through it. She's blowing through, all the barriers that are keeping her back. This is incredible.
And that's the only new thing we get. After that, it's just the chorus again. So, final decision here. I think she believes in life after love.
Yes, I will say at the beginning she did not. At the end she does.
Wow, what an emotional journey. Do you like that song?
It's okay.
You do? Well, yeah, I really like it.
I mean, if it comes on the radio, I'm leaving the station there.
Jordan, I'm tired. What's next? I got a lot to do today.
All right, next week's episode is Insult to Injury.
Wow. Isn't it funny that I told you when we got on that I was super busy and we should have rescheduled, and it's been one of our longer episodes in quite a while. Great stuff. I'm looking forward to that, Jordan. Thank you for joining me, listeners. Thank you for listening. And I guess I should say, Cher does believe in love. Life after love. Take care.
You should try. Take care, everybody.